That morning, Seoul's air still felt damp after yesterday's rain. On the highway leading to Gyeonggi Province, traffic seemed heavy as ever. A military vehicle carrying several soldiers, including actor and active-duty soldier Cha Eun-woo, drives at a steady speed towards the headquarters. No one expected that the supposedly ordinary trip would be a moment that would thrill thousands of people in South Korea, especially for one person who knew him well. Moonj Jang Yi around 10:45 a.m. local time. Initial traffic reports noted a small collision between a military vehicle and a private car at an intersection near Pocheon district. The weather was slightly foggy, and visibility decreased. The impact was not large, but hard enough to make the vehicle shake and stop suddenly on the side of the road. Within minutes, the area was immediately filled with sirens of military police and medical teams. The news of the crash was initially only an internal military record, something that would not have been known to the public if it had not been for an eyewitness who recognized the figure in the vehicle. "I saw his face when the window opened. I'm sure it's Cha Eun-woo," said one resident interviewed by local media a few hours later. From there, the rumors began to spread quickly on social media and the Korean entertainment world. Every news about an artist who is undergoing military service is always in the spotlight. This time, however, the news felt much heavier. Cha Eun-woo is not just an idol or an ordinary actor. He is a figure that has been so loved by the public because of his warm personality and reputation that has never been tarnished by scandals. In a matter of minutes, the name Cha Eun-woo instantly ranked at the top of online search trends. Hashtags such as #PrayForEunwoo and #StaySafeEunwoo appeared in thousands of fan uploads. At the same time, Moonj Jang is on the set of his latest drama in the Ilsan area. At that time, he was preparing an emotional scene when one of the staff came closer with a tense expression, carrying a mobile phone whose screen displayed a sudden news notification. Just a glance is enough to make his heart beat faster. An accident? I could hardly believe the title that appeared on the screen. For a few seconds, everything seemed to stop. The sounds of the crew around him slowly faded away, leaving only a heartbeat and a gaze fixed on that brief sentence. He immediately asked permission to leave the location, his face pale and his voice trembling. "I have to confirm this news," he said quietly, before rushing into the waiting room. A manager who knew him well then helped contact the Fantajo agency. But at that time, the agency itself could not give an official statement because they are also still waiting for confirmation from the military. Time goes slowly. Every minute feels like an hour. Young sits restlessly, her hands clasping tightly against the phone while staring at the blank screen. Several staff approached, trying to calm him down, but he could only say softly, "I just want to know he's okay." The emergency is not without reason. Although the public often only sees their relationship as limited to co-workers, many know that Ji-young and Eun-woo have been friends for a long time since starring in the drama True Beauty in 2020. The two are known to have a warm relationship, support each other in their respective projects, and often share words of encouragement behind the scenes. Not surprisingly, when Cha Eun-woo's name is mentioned in the context of an accident, Moon Jae-young's name is automatically mentioned in various online forums. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, the military moved quickly. After an initial examination at the scene, it was confirmed that there were no fatalities, and Cha Eun-woo only suffered minor injuries to his right arm as well as a slight bruise on his shoulder from the impact of the seat belt. Even so, according to the procedure, he was immediately taken to the nearest military hospital for further examination, but news of those details hasn't reached the public, and certainly hasn't reached Moon Ji-young. He only heard pieces of information from online media that often wrote with sensational headlines. In a jumbled state of panic and expectation, he finally decides to contact an old acquaintance who works in the military communications department. "Please, can you check if she's really okay?" he asked with a trembling voice. Time goes on. Outside, the media has begun to gather in front of military headquarters and hospitals. Cameras, microphones, and live broadcasts began to fill the screens of national television. The Korean entertainment world suddenly pauses, waiting for one thing: the official news about Cha Eun-woo's condition. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon when the notification on Moon Jae-young's phone finally goes off. In the morning, he couldn't sit still. Several times he tried to calm himself by staring at the play he was supposed to memorize, but his gaze was always blank. Only one thing occupies her mind: is Eunwoo okay? When the phone call from her agency finally connected, her heart beat so fast that her voice barely came out. "Yobaseo, how is he? Please tell me something," he said in an anxious tone. "Calm down, Jang SSI. We just got word from the military," replied the manager on the other side. "Eunwoo is conscious. There were no serious injuries. He only had bruises and a slight injury to his shoulder, but is now being treated by the medical team." For a moment, the air around him felt like it was flowing again. His shoulders that had been stiffened earlier began to decline slowly, and his eyes immediately filled with tears. He covered his face with both hands, trying to hold back the unstoppable tears. "Thank God," he whispered softly. The restrained cry from the morning finally broke out just like that, not from sadness, but from such a huge relief. He knows that living a military life is not easy for anyone, especially someone like Eunwoo who is used to living in the public spotlight. Hearing that his best friend survived made the entire weight on his chest seem to collapse. Despite the reassurance that Eunwoo is in stable condition, the worry hasn't completely gone away. Jiyoung asks his production team for permission to postpone filming that day. "I need a minute," he said in a soft but firm tone. The production side understood completely. They knew this news was not something that could be simply ignored. He then left the set and chose to return to his apartment in the Gangnam area. On the way, he opened his social media to see the latest developments. Thousands of comments flooded the timeline. Fans from different countries wrote messages of hope, prayers, and support. Some write, "Stay strong, Eunwoo. We are with you. Moonj Jang Yi, we know how much you care. Please stay strong too." Looking at the thousands of prayers, Jiyoung smiled a little amid her exhausted feelings. He knows that the love and care of fans is not trivial. They become invisible amplifiers, but they are always there at every step. Arriving home, he sat on the sofa of a quiet living room. The television in front of him showed a brief news story about the incident. The narrator explains that the military vehicle carrying Eunwoo had a minor accident due to sudden braking, but all the passengers are in stable condition. On the screen appears a photo of Eunwoo in his military uniform, strapping, dignified, and still with his trademark warm smile. Jiyoung stared at the screen for a long time. Her tears returned slowly. "You must be scared, right?" he muttered softly, as if talking to the picture on television. "But I know you are strong. You've always been strong." A few minutes later, he received a message from one of his close friends in the entertainment industry. "I heard he was able to talk to a military doctor. It is better than it was," he wrote. Jiyoung immediately replied with a praying hand emoji and a small heart, simple, but full of meaning. On the other hand, the military held a brief press conference to quell public concern. Soldier Eunwoo has received medical treatment. His condition is not life-threatening, and he will rest for a few days before returning to duty, a military spokesman said. "We appreciate the concern of the public and ask that the privacy of those concerned be maintained." The statement was broadcast live, and within minutes, the news spread to various national media. Fantajo, the agency that houses Eunwoo, also uploaded an official statement through its official account. "We made sure that our artist, Eunwoo, didn't get seriously injured. He is currently recovering under the supervision of military medical personnel. We are grateful for the attention, prayers, and love given by fans around the world."